This is Fred Beck from Fred Exciting. Today I'm very lucky to joined by Jeff Mayweather. So thank you for coming on again, Jeff. It's good to see you again, mate.
Likewise.
So what have you been up to, Jeff? What's going on with you? What have you been doing?
I'm very busy. Training a bunch of young fighters. I'm working on a documentary. Um, and still branding my own merchandise. So I'm busy.
What's the documentary on?
Me.
Oh yeah. And how's that going? How far into the process are you filming?
We're just starting. We started in Miami. So we're basically in the beginning stages.
Can I be in the documentary, Jeff?
Uh, maybe so. We'll
At the very,
see.
at the very end, you can say, "Oh, I did this interview with this 17-year-old kid, Fred Beck." That sounds good, right?
That sounds good. Maybe I'll do that.
Yeah, we look forward to it then. All right. All right, so Jeff, last weekend your nephew took on the YouTuber Logan Paul. Were you at that fight?
Yeah, I was there.
Were you ringside?
Didn't want to be ringside. I was in I was in a booth where they had food and everything complimenting.
Oh, very nice then. That sounds good.
And
Um,
plus it rained.
oh, Rain, no,
It
you
rained.
didn't get
Yeah, it
soaked.
rained in ringside. Yeah, it rained.
So, yeah, so lucky you stayed dry. So, going into the fight, how do you think you saw it going? How do you think you would go?
Well, of course, like everyone else, I thought that at some point Floyd would get a chance to get inside and get to his body and make him quit. But at the end of the day, I mean, Logan Paul's outweighs Floyd by 30 or 40 pounds. He's 6 inches taller. So you're talking about, even though everyone knows how great Floyd is as a fighter, Floyd's 44 years old. So, I mean, still, I think he did a great job still, even though Logan was able to finish on his feet. And the one thing that most people don't realize is that Logan is also an athlete. So it wasn't like he was just a YouTuber that said, "Oh, okay, I'm finna go do this." He was an athlete as well. So I mean, basically, you know, size played size played a big part in a decision of what happened.
I mean, 30, I think it's 35 or 40 pounds going into the fight. I mean, being that much heavier must make an impact. Were you impressed by Logan's performance at all?
No, I'm not impressed by that garbage. He wasn't doing nothing but throwing wild punches and holding a man half his size and a man half old, twice as old as him.
But don't you think doing the distance with Floyd might be a bit impressive, or do you think that Floyd is kind of taking it even easier?
No, I mean, I think that once Floyd realized how big Logan was, once he got in the ring with him, and Logan is a guy that's physically strong, you know, you got to fight smart. I don't care who you are. And the thing is that it's different. Like I said, if Logan wasn't an athlete, then it would be different. I mean, Logan probably would have been out of there in 1 or 2 rounds, but Logan is an athlete. And basically, he works hard, and I thought that it ended up being a good show, but Logan did too much holding to make the fight be as good as it could have been. But that goes to show you that you have a guy that's 44 years old going against a guy that's 23 years old, and he outweighs him by 40 pounds, and all he's doing is holding, and so I mean that made the fight look bad, but because if he would took chances, he probably would have got stopped. But I mean, like I said, everybody is so caught up in the fact of Floyd's status more so than his age. And I think that right now, that was the first time in even myself, to finally see Floyd's age. It showed.
Do you think that Floyd might do some more of his exhibitions fights, sorry, or do you think
Huh,
it'll be kind of one and done thing?
I think so. Why not? It's easy money.
What
I
opponent,
mean,
who would you like to see Floyd up against next? Then is there anyone in particular you might think would be a good opponent for Floyd, someone with a big name, but maybe not, maybe not. But would you like to see him against Jake Paul, or maybe would you like to see him against? You never know.
to be
Because
honest,
everyone wants
to
that
be
Canelo fight,
honest,
but
well, no, I mean, to be honest, there's only really two other YouTubers out there worth Floyd fighting, and that's KSI and Jake. I mean, the other YouTubers, their name's not big enough.
do you ever see Floyd fighting a boxer again, or do you think that's US not worth like much
Floyd,
money?
Floyd, Floyd career is over. It's over. I mean, 44 years old. Who are you gonna fight? You can't fight none of these top guys. And that's why the guys that he beat, you know, they're still screaming and crying and begging for fights to fight a man that's almost twice their age. I mean, just like Canelo talking about, oh, I'll be Floyd in prime. Floyd already beat your ass. So fuck your prime. When you fought him, you chose to fight him. And he was 36. He was 36 at that time. So Floyd was way past his prime when he beat his ass. And so I mean, and so when you have guys that they're still mad about what Floyd did to them a long time ago, and still thinking that Floyd is Floyd Mayweather. Oh no, he's not. He's a great athlete that still has the ability to to perform to a certain level, but he can't fight like he used to. I mean, and no one ever thought that we would see that day, but that day happened. That day happens to all fighters. It happens.
I know every fighter gets sold. That's one thing you can't really stop. But do you think the fact that Floyd Mayweather is fighting Logan Paul, do you think I've seen a lot of people say it's good for boxing, and I've seen a lot of people say it's had a negative effect on boxing. What do you think has had an effect on positive or negative?
I think it's both too, because you have guys that have never did anything, but I understand it. It's a business. The business side, I understand, and that's the only thing that matters. Because at the end of the day, what makes money makes sense. And so basically, I understand it, but you have guys who have, came up in the amateurs, maybe 10 years old or younger, and basically have fought all their life, and never going to see this kind of money ever in their life. And so, I mean, that part, it's almost like a slap in the face to legitimate fighters. But if you're involved in it on some level or some way, you're happy, because you're going to get paid too. You're going to get paid just like they're getting paid, but maybe not as much, but you're still going to see your biggest payday just because you're on the same card. So, I mean, it's good and bad.
The money they're making is crazy. I think that Floyd got paid, what, 30 million just for the sponsors on his shorts. And that's not even him getting punched in the face just wearing the clothing. If we do move on to what people might call the current professional scene, last time we spoke about Devin Haney, obviously you trained Devin Haney in the past. And what you didn't hear? He fought Linares the last month, and you hadn't heard of Linares before. Linares, sorry, before. Um, he was he. I
Oh,
thought,
I know Linares.
but
I've been knowing Linares.
you said last time you didn't know Linares.
No, 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 no. As a matter of fact, I thought I first time I seen Linares was a long, long time ago. Came into the gym, beating the shit out of everyone. And I said to myself about Linares was he's the closest fighter to why to Floyd. And I thought that the fight with him and Devin Haney was gonna be a tough fight.
But then I thought Devin Haney dominated all the rounds apart from the last couple. Do you think he was wobbled at all by Linares' right hand at the end of the one of the
Right.
last rounds?
I mean, yeah, the last 3 rounds he was basically fighting on just memory. He was hurt. And that's why he was grabbing and holding on and everything else. But it happens.
I mean, you don't go suing without getting wet. One of the things that people say in boxing a lot. But after the fight, everyone wanted to see him and Teofimo Lopez. How do you think Devin Haney matches up against Teofimo?
I think it's a great fight. And to be honest, I think it's a fight that Devin needs for the best of Devin to show up.
Yeah, I think so too. You're right.
Good. Devin, I don't say underestimate the people that he's fighting, but these are fights that he's supposed to win, But a fight with Teofimo Lopez isn't a fight that there's a guarantee that he's going to win. And the best Devin Haney is going to have to show up in order to win that fight. I lean slightly toward Teofimo because he's got good punching power and he's got good boxing skills. But Devin has great boxing skills and can outbox him, outsmart him, but he can't get caught. Just like Ryan Garcia talking about he want to fight Tank. If he gets caught like he got caught in that last fight will be over with. And that's the difference when a guy's a puncher and a guy is just a smart guy that because his game got to be up to par 100% on fight night. On fight night, he has to be 100% every time.
So slightly now you're leaning towards Teofimo. Then Teofimo is a tough fight against George Kambosos, undefeated guy, and the Triller undercard. I think it's the start middle of July. I think that card is or June. Not completely sure. I only have one more question, but I don't take too much of the time. As you know, at the end of each interview, I always ask you about the Doom session. When I come to America, I'm going to do a Doom session. But you saw my unicycle boxing video on Instagram, didn't you?
I seen a video of some young guys doing Doom session. They were from the UK.
Yeah, I saw
but
that.
I don't know what they were doing. It was funny. It was very funny. That wasn't you, was it?
No, that wasn't me. No.
I see you riding a bike.
A bike is unicycle.
So you riding a bike?
One wheel.
Yeah, unicycle.
Yeah.
I can't ride one.
I'll do a Doom session on the unicycle, and Jeff.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. You're a great reporter now. After you get doomed, you might not be.
Well, I'll have to hold it off for a long time then. You won't see me in years then. All right, Jeff, it's been great speaking to you today. I don't take too much of time up. So you've got a podcast out and you've also got merch out. Where can people find the podcast and where can people find the t-shirts you've got out?
The merchandise seems to be hard to find now because it's in my Instagram under, I don't know, it keeps going away on its own.
Wait, what do you mean it keeps going away? Have you not got a website for it?
No. Actually, there is a website, but I don't know it.
But you doing it the website. It's not a very good marketing tool saying, oh yeah, t-shirts out, and then you haven't got the website for it.
Well, no, I have a website. I think it's called Doom Session. I think.
Good. Tell you what, everyone who's still watching the interview right now, I'll find that website that Jeff Mayweather doesn't know, and I'll put it in the description. So your podcast, where can people find that? What do you know?
It's in Spotify.
Spotify, perfect. There we go.
Yeah, Spotify. I know that one.
Right.
And it's under the Jeff Mayweather Show.
Yeah, I remember you can search on Spotify or on podcasts. It's called the Jeff Mayweather Show. All right, Jeff, it's been great speaking to you again. Hope you can catch.
All right, likewise.